I'm going to focus on one thing. I mean, if you guys want to ask me about like backups and stuff, I can tell you. But what's most interesting usually is the starting quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. He had a very Jimmy day. I mean, he was accurate. He was good in the red zone. He threw 5 touchdown passes in the red zone, which he hadn't done earlier. So that was nice. He got the ball to Jeff Wilson Jr. in the red zone. They have a nice little rapport. They've had it through the air. But he threw a pick. All right. And so it's like, okay, he threw a pick. You're entitled. Jaquiski Tart held on for the first time in training camp. It was a pick 6. So after the day, we talked to Robert Saleh, and someone asked, from your perspective as a defensive coach, how has Jimmy changed or improved this offseason? And he was so specific. He was like, yeah, he is making quicker decisions this year. He's absolutely making quicker decisions and getting the ball out of his hand, which I thought was a really interesting thing to say, because when Saleh was talking about Kirk Cousins last year before they played him in the playoffs, he said Kirk Cousins always makes the right decision, always, like a computer. Now, Jimmy's a better football player than Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins is a machine mentally. He's like a coach. What Saleh said about him is not that he's making the right decision, because he's not. He's throwing about a pick a day. He's making quicker decisions. So it's kind of like a backhanded compliment. It's an interesting thing to say, but it is important that he doesn't just hang back and hold on to the ball in the pocket. But I think ultimately what they want for him is better decisions, not just quicker decisions. That's what I'm seeing.
Jimmy G. Let me start real quick. I have not much to say, but it's okay. I don't fault him for doing interceptions, right? It's practice.
It's practice.
That's how you experiment.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't count. So he's just getting the flow of things. But yeah, I mean, I'm
right.
I'm liking how what he's doing like today, what you said.
Yeah,
I'm just
excited.
No
Debo, no Ayuk, no Kittle. So he's working with guys. So you got to remember that. But just what I focused on was what Saleh's words, because Shanahan doesn't have the control of the English language that he has over X's and O's. Like, he's much more comfortable with X's and O's than nouns and verbs. Saleh can really explain exactly what he means. And he said real clearly today, like, faster decisions. It's like, okay, that's a step up from Jimmy Garoppolo. But to be a great decision maker, that's only 50% of it.
Nice.
It's 50. Yeah.
Nice. Dre, what you think?
I actually wrote this down because I had a feeling that Jimmy was going to come up. And they asked Jimmy in his press conference, and Jimmy said, I try not to focus on the good plays. I focus on the bad ones and how to make those ones better. Right.
Nice.
They asked him, which throws do you really like? And he said, the question kind of, rubbed him the wrong way. And he was like, I don't care about the good ones. I'm worried about the bad ones and making the bad ones good ones. Right. So I'm happy that Jimmy is in the correct mind state. And he's playing with a lot of veterans who are team-to-team guys who are kind of like journeymen. And he's playing with a lot of young guys. Right. And he's not playing with those guys who, he usually is playing with at this time of the year. So I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack, because I know when, it's the beginning of the game and they're warming up and they snap that ball and he gets on offense, he just makes plays. Jimmy Garoppolo is a winner. And I kind of, I definitely respect, what you're saying, Grant, because, if you're a franchise quarterback, you do have to be held to a higher standard, right? Like, I've been showing Jimmy a lot.
You got to be elite.
Yeah, you have to get to a higher standard, but I'm just happy that he's in the correct headspace, because he could have broke down every single good throw that he's had all camp, and I've seen some pretty damn good ones. Specifically, one that he threw to Dante Pettis, where it went over the linebacker's head and landed in between the linebacker and the free safety who was closing in on the ball, and it was a beautiful throw. But he didn't do that. He basically said, "I focus on the bad ones to try to make those ones better." So that's my take on that one.
Nice, Jason.
I think it's really good to hear that he's getting the ball out faster, especially if we're nervous that his right guard his right guard might be Tom Garland. I mean, not Tom Garland, Tom Compton.
Tom Compton, yeah.
Tom Compton. So good. I like that you're gonna get one. I'm sorry. I miss you, Ben. I miss you, Ben. And I'm trying to you're on my mind. It was a Freudian slip. I miss you, Ben. But come on back. So if he's getting the ball out, that's better. So I think that what we've seen with Jimmy, and I think that we have a large enough sample size to say is that we kind of just have to take that there's going to be 1 or 2 throws per game that we're going to say, goodness, what was that? What were you looking at? Why throw it there? Why? And sometimes they'll come down with it. Sometimes they won't. What everybody pretty much knows, and Grant, I heard you say the same thing in one of your periscopes. is that the reason that we allow it to happen is because the next drive, Jimmy Garoppolo comes right back and he just settles it down. Like and I think what you said is really, like, I didn't know this, and I learned this from you, Grant, when you said this. That what Kyle does in practice, I want you to work on what you can't do. Do it.
Yeah.
Do that.
Once he sees a mistake, it's like, okay, we're gonna do it. Like,
right.
I'm gonna call the same type of play.
Though, when you throw one of those bad picks, Kyle rips that page out of the book and just tosses it, and it's like, now we're not going back to that, and now let's go with what works.
Yeah, we'll fix that during the week, and now we're going to go back to the easy stuff. Yeah,
exactly. So, I mean, I don't put too much stock into it. Again, if you're going to work on anything, it's time for it to be practiced. I am liking the idea that he is more decisive. That's something that I very much want to see, especially considering what we might have happen week 1. But yes, it's just we just have to get used to the fact that there's going to be those decisions that we're just like, I'm not certain what you saw there, you know. And but if he's being more decisive, that is an improvement, and I like that.
Real quick, the reason the deal with Jimmy, they're paying him to be a top 8 quarterback in the league. Correct? Fair? $27 million a year. You got to be top 8 at a certain point, and they're giving him time because they look at him as basically a second-year starter. But for him to be like top 12, top 13, and be a guy that you can't really trust to make the right decision in critical moments, he can't be that guy. He needs to get to another level, and I think he's close. I think they think he's close, but the next level is making better decisions, turning the ball over less frequently. If he can do that, then he'll be a no doubter top 8 quarterback in the league. I know you're going to say he already is.
Can I let Dre have the floor on this one? Go ahead, Dre.
I thought that he was top 5 in completions, touchdowns, percentage.
Now look at his face.
In third down completions. I thought that he was a top 10 quarterback. You see, this is the thing about bad throws, right? You know, who led the NFL last year? Who was number 1 and 2 in bad throw percentage last year? It was Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. But nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that, right? It's just, oh my God, they're the greatest.
But they are sort of so.
Chris Sims ranked him 20th. I mean, the national media consensus for Jimmy Garoppolo is about the 15th best quarterback in the league, and that's a little harsh. But Chris Sims, who's Kyle Shanahan's best friend, ranked him, I think, 21st, 19th.
Yeah,
I mean, locally, people think of him as fringe top 10, like maybe.
How
maybe
good of a
top
quarterback
12.
is Chris Sims in the NFL?
I
I would listen to Phil Sims. Phil Sims at least won Super Bowls, right? He rode the back of a.
If Chris Sims isn't qualified to rank quarterbacks, then neither are we.
You know, I wish there was a metric of certain situation, like the 4th and 2. You know, like with the Baltimore game when he threw that touchdown pass to Debo, or you know the Kittle pass in the Saints game. I mean, you gotta. I mean, you know, I know
he's good on third down.
Yes,
he's accurate.
Yeah.
Is he mobile? No. Does he make great decisions? Not yet. Does he have a big arm? No. Does he throw downfield a lot? Not really. Is he a good quarterback? Yes. Is he a top 15 quarterback? Absolutely. Is he a top 10? He's only had 1 full season of starting experience. I think we're going to know that. We're going to know that in about four months. This is year 2. I think he can absolutely establish himself as a top 8 quarterback. And if he does, then everyone's going to be happy with the contract, with him. I mean, there'll be really no more for him to answer. And I think what's interesting about it is all he has to do is commit like 5 fewer turnovers this year. And I'm talking fumbles too. Just commit just a little less because he's a hell of a football player.
Yeah.
He's got that it factor. Now just be a little more mature and experienced, and that comes with reps.
Right. For sure. And I agree with that too. Like, honestly, that was going to be my point is that, you know, yes, we can say right now confidently that Jimmy Garoppolo is a top 15 quarterback.
No doubt.
Have we seen his ceiling yet though?
No.
And I don't think we have. And that's what you should be banking on right now. Like, and you should just be banking on, there has to be improvement this year. Like, it's not, and it just depends on how drastic. Are we going to
Salah? He says, look, I love his arm. He's got an amazing arm. We love the way he throws the ball. And I think they always have. What they want to see from him is better decision making. Because remember what Kyle loves. Kyle loves Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins isn't the football player Jimmy Garoppolo is. Jimmy has a feel for the game that Kirk just doesn't have.
Right.
But Kirk's a machine. Kirk's a coach. I mean, he's always right. And I think that's what Shanahan wanted from Matt Ryan, and it's what he's expecting Jimmy Garoppolo to get to eventually. And it's not going to be quick for Jimmy. It's going to be a process, but I think he'll get there eventually. We'll see.
And then the other thing is that Jimmy has to improve because this year the 49ers are going to have to score more points.
No
or
question.
they're going to have to throw a lot more. Like that's
especially week 1.
Right. Like week 1, what was my prediction? 31-27. That feels right. That feels right. Like he's gonna have to put up 31. Like, and there's gonna be games where people are gonna exclusively try to take away the run. Like just completely stack the box and let him throw.
It could be week 1. That's
Right.
what I would do. Isn't that what you would do if you were a defensive coordinator? Wouldn't that be your game plan? I'm not going to let him beat me on the ground. Not gonna let him
and I would collapse all of my good guys over the interior O-line.
Yep. Going to make him throw outside. We're going to make him run outside, throw outside. Yep.
We'll see what happens. You could think you're gonna make Kyle Shanahan. You could your brain could make you think whatever you want.
You're right.
I'm not saying it's going to work, but the Belichick approach is you got to take away their fastball. You got to take away what they do best and live with the results. So, make them beat you left-handed. And for the Niners, that's throwing. So if they beat you with Jimmy dropping back and throwing 50 times, you tip your cap.
That's not what Kyle wants to do, though. I don't like games where I don't like games where any quarterback is asked to throw 50. I don't like it when Jimmy has to throw 50. I would never
run the ball 40 times and have play action. If you can take the running game away, the play action game away, and make him a drop back passing game, that's the best you can ask.
Yeah,
that's the best you do.
Everybody will take their shot on that.